Hey friends, welcome back. So today I'm going to get a first session in on the Robbie Pitts Fantasy Playlife 72 skates. Let's get laced up and get to it. So let's talk about some of the features with this skate. I've never skated a skate like this. I got them at a really good price point because someone was selling them secondhand. I looked at, buying them brand new, and they were all sold out in the US in my size. So let's go ahead and walk through some of the features. So it comes with a Kaiser flat 72 mil frame, which I'll be honest, I'm scared as hell to do some H-block tricks in it because you can see it's not a very wide H-block. Decent sized sole plate. So this is the old USD Sway sole plate. The shell is a clear plastic essentially, and I've never skated a clear shell, so I was really intrigued by that. And then it's got a very vibrant and fun My Fit, Robbie Pitts liner, and it's got this cool kind of holographic tongue, furry, comes with very metallic laces. But yeah, like I said, I picked these up secondhand from someone that used them just a couple times, and want to give them a shot because they're unique. So let's check them out. All right, yeah, so just got them all laced up, and I'm a 275 Mondo, and these are the 43-44s, which is supposed to be the right size for me, but honestly, they feel huge on my feet. I can feel my foot moving around inside the shell, so it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure how today is gonna go. So did a few pyramid tricks, and it took me numerous times just to get my basic stuff. It feels like I'm off balance because my foot is kind of floating around in the shell, but let's keep going. All right, taking a quick water break, but as I'm skating these more, it's not the landings that feel off balance. These 72mm wheels actually feel pretty decent. Honestly, I thought these skates would be a lot faster given a 4x72, but I don't feel like I'm skating any faster than I did with just kind of a normal flat frame setup, but it could be that it's me being the limiter in that. I feel like the off balance is actually coming from the takeoffs, because as I'm like trying to push into my skates and like take off, if my foot's kind of moving around in the liner, and then the liner's kind of moving around in the skate, it just means that you get a lot of sloppiness that kind of results in awkward takeoffs because it throws you off balance just right before you hit the transition. Hit a couple grinds, they feel decent, but I'm not gonna try H-block tricks. Like, I'm just not feeling confident today. So I'm just gonna continue just kind of hitting various transition and ramps and do something a little different than a grinder blader session that I'm normally doing. Cuff bolts are also coming hella loose. So one thing I'm feeling too is some pressure in the plastic on the side of my foot, kind of right in this area. Which is a little interesting. Well, that landing felt real good. Okay, so I'm starting to get some hot spots in my ankles. So I'm just gonna hit a couple tricks on the spine and then call it a day. Okay, so let's talk about the first session on the skate. You know, overall wheels, they were nice, cushy. Like I said, I don't feel that, you know, they were any faster than some of the flat setups I've ridden before, like the Wish frames or the FR Wish frames, you know, the Icon AG60s. So, you know, 72 mil, I was expecting to be a little faster, but, you know, decent. Frame, you know, just hit a couple grinds on it, but you know, this H-block scared the hell out of me and it made it so I didn't even want to try it. So, you know, I don't know. That's one thing. A couple grinds I did. You know, I thought the sole plates did slide decently. Shell, you know, I love the colorway. Love the clear plastic. You know, biggest thing is that it just doesn't fit. You know, I've ridden the MyFit Prime liners in the past. It's a good liner, but you know, it's a very thin liner. So if you've got a shell that doesn't fit, then what you're gonna encounter is that, you know, your foot is gonna move inside the shell, but because of the way that these have laces, so it laces up halfway and then the liner has its own laces above, I don't feel like that type of lacing locks my foot in the skate the best. So, you know, that causes, you know, me to have some foot moving around in my liner, some foot moving around in the shell. You know, honestly, after skating these though, I think that I'm honestly probably between shell sizes, which is a shame because these are absolutely beautiful skates, but I think I'm just gonna have to post them for sale and, you know, hope that somebody finds them and has a better time with them because it fits them better. So, you know, that's kind of my overall first impression. Would have loved to try and make these work, but you know, honestly, I don't feel like another skate project right now. So, you know, I was hoping that these would be ready to go out of the box. They're not, and I think I'm gonna move on. So just a couple extra comments. Cuff bolts, you know, definitely were loosening up while I was skating. I had to tighten them. Not an uncommon thing for skates. So, you know, that's that. And then the other is I was definitely starting to get some hot spots at my ankles at the end of the session. So I wanted to call it a day before they actually turned into blisters, because I really don't want to be out for a week just due to blisters from an oversized skate. All right, guys, well, that wraps up the first session on these skates. Thanks all for checking in, and we'll catch you next time.